Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. Thursday night football here, Pat. What are you thinking tonight?
Are we seeing our new quarterback, Matthew Stafford? Have we figured out what the financial repercussions of that rumor would be?
Not,
How much?
not
How
terrible
much
for the
would you?
Vikings, actually.
How much would you be on the hook for? I mean, even if they paid most of it, there's still a sum of 12 million or something like that that you'd
It
end
looks
up
like it'd be
having.
like 20. His base salary is like 23 million a year. So
Yeah.
prorate that this year.
But now, for instance, the Chiefs just got Hopkins, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and they're paying most of. They don't. If the other team pays most of it, then you don't have a big cap hit, or what? What? How's that work? Or is there a maximum that you can
Well,
that the
there's
other
sort of
team
two
can
things.
pay?
If the opposing team already signed him to a big contract in both cases and gave him a big signing bonus up front, that signing bonus gets prorated for accounting purposes throughout the duration of the contract. So the original team is on the hook for all of that on their books.
Okay, all right.
So whatever his like year to year base salary would be, I think there's some negotiation in terms of I think you can pick up some of the tab if you're the trading team to get a better draft pick. It's all
Hmm.
kind of confusing, but it would be doable if the Vikings really wanted financially to add Matthew Stafford. It would not be a big burden on their books.
It does sound somewhat preposterous to me, however. But anyway,
Well, your
because you
colleague Ben
just
Gessling, your great colleague, shot it down yesterday from
okay.
some Vikings front office sources. So
Okay, all right. Well, Sam, we're turning on Sam rather quickly here, though. I mean, his numbers last week weren't that terrible, were they? I mean, he did make the one interception, but aren't we kind of blaming the receiver for the real bad throw that Addison didn't make the cut he was
He
supposed
run
to make?
on the 3rd and 4. He ran the wrong route and
Yeah.
bunched that side. Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
O'Connell
so
said
that
that.
that
So
was bad. Now there was another bad throw down there by the goal line, but that was, I mean, that's going to happen. So I don't see that as feasible here when you just happily got rid of Kirk. Now plus you're stuck with him too, though, right, Stafford, because he's got a contract, right? You just release. He'd just agree to be released at the end of the season or something. Would that be it?
yeah,
I don't know.
it's probably not going to take place. It was just a lot of fun for a very short
Mhm.
shelf life.
And then, of course, what happens on this is you can now go to Twitter and other places and find these totally uncredible sources who want to make themselves credible sources and say that this is the settlement source, website and stuff like that. So it's, gentlemen, with AI approaching, and but I watched something about that a couple days ago. We can't believe anything anymore. There's going to be nothing. They can make everything sound real now with this AI thing. So it's kind of like an AA thing, except it's AI, right? I mean, you got this crazy conversation going on. So.
I was on a call. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but what the hell? I was on a call yesterday about like the radio industry,
Hmm.
and there was a company that was sort of explaining their product, which is, hey, for your on-air talent, like on a music radio station or something like your morning show, there's a program now that will identify what the biggest, and this has been around for a while, like the biggest talkers and the biggest
Hmm.
stories are, but it goes like 5 or 10 steps further that here's the biggest story. Here are the scripts for you to go into a commercial
Oh,
break,
really?
verbatim what you should say to hook the audience, come back exactly how you should tell the story, and then how you should react to the story, and it's all scripted. And I'm thinking like, well, why do you need a human to even read the
Yes.
scripts anymore, right?
Well, and you probably won't have one in a year or two. Now we're selling somebody's selling a cell phone, right? That's I suppose they all are. The next model is going to all have AI on them. But when I was getting my new computer, the fellow I was getting my computer from was showing me his AI that he has on his cell phone that you can have conversations with this person, and she can do anything you want to. I mean, verbally, she can do anything you want verbally. Okay, it's quite the deal. Anyway, Vikings win tonight, right? They run through that paper thin offensive line that Stafford has in front of him, and Flores has his way with them. I would guess, huh?
Well, yeah,
That would,
we all, spoiler alert, we all just did our Purple Picks, Purple Daily show, and we did all pick the Vikings to win and cover this 2.5 point spread. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like they laid a big egg against Detroit or anything like that. They defensively they did, but this is you're going from playing against the best offensive line in the league to one of the worst, right? So
Yeah.
isn't that what we're told? So that's always an advantage to have the other team have a lousy offensive line. We know that from experience around here. Not recently, not as much as people think, but certainly for a long stretch of the early years of the Zim era. There was we experienced that, and before that too. With
That's part of the angst that I don't get off the Lions game is, did the Lions expose something and unlock something that the rest of the league can do? I don't know, unless you can duplicate having Penei Sewell and Frank
Yes,
Ragnow and these guys up front. I don't know.
and
I don't know
and
that you can.
and uh, and Gibbs, who's great, and Montgomery gave you a touchdown with that fumble. But I was talking to Judd the other day, saying I love that combination of running backs they have.
Yeah.
Those two guys, because you got you got the explosive guy who also runs extremely hard, and then you got Montgomery who that game they won an over the first week of the season. They was it the first? Was it the
The
opener they
Rams?
lost? Was it the opener they lost? Detroit? No, they
No,
were one and
Seattle, like
one.
week 2.
They were okay, but
Or Tampa Bay. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Tampa Bay.
the the game that they were that they went into overtime, and then he just handed the ball to him, and he ran down and about 8 times at Montgomery and scored a touchdown. So I don't know. This is a shockingly good Viking team, though, and I think that people got now want him to like take the big plunge already and go to the Super Bowl. And I think he can probably the schedule gets easier. Sam Darnold can handle the schedule that you got left, I would think. Don't you?
I want a defensive tackle. That's what I want.
Yes.
I want an
What
upgrade there.
you want a bigger run stopper type of guy?
Yeah, and a guy that can actually rush. Like I think if you can get a guy that can get some sacks from the interior, now you've got Van Ginkel, Grenard, and then a guy from the inside. That's what I want.
I gotta ask you a question. What kind of year is Hunter having for all that money in Houston?
A really good one.
He
A
is.
really
He's
good one.
getting
Yeah.
some sacks. He is doing well. So okay, that's good. And Houston is what 4-2, something like that. They're
Yeah.
okay. They're okay. But
Yep.
we embarrassed them, right? Did we
Oh
not
yeah,
embarrass them?
kicked
We
the crap out of
embarrassed
them.
them. Stroud looked
Yeah,
terrible. Stroud looked terrible. So yeah, I don't know. It's Thursday night, man. It's a tough night for TV because you got the Viking game, which everybody will be watching, but you also have to find out if what we saw for the Timberwolves is what we're going to see again. Because Sacramento, now that they got DeRozan, is way better than the Lakers. You're gonna, if you're gonna have to guard some people tonight if you're going to beat that team. And I was looking last night. By the way, I've made a switch here to basketball. I saw Ja. I was watching Ja last night. Ja is back. He was fantastic down the stretch, and Memphis beat a really good Utah team. That Utah team's got a lot of players on it, and the West is tough. The fact we kind of figured that the Timberwolves were going to be better and that they were just going to stroll on up there. You better show up and play in the West. There's about 9, 10 teams that are good.
Yeah.
So there aren't too many clinkers. And OKC now got that Hartenstein from the Knicks, who's another monster up front. The West is going to be good, man.
Yeah, there's only maybe one team right now that you would say is for sure going to be bad in the West. It's the Blazers.
Or Yeah,
Every
Portland.
other, even I don't know if you guys caught Golden State last night. Just no, I think
Yes,
they played the Blazers, so it looked but they
yes,
scored like 140, but so they got rid of Clay.
yes,
Buddy Hield off the bench hit like
yes,
6 3-pointers.
yes.
They got Kyle Anderson doing Kyle Anderson things off the bench for 15-20 minutes. It was so they're going to be, and then Houston too has a bunch of young talent and one of the best coaches in the NBA. It's going to be
Yeah,
interesting.
dude, you're gonna have to show up. So
Spurs.
here's why I overreacted to the Wolves opener. The Lakers were 5 for 30 on threes. It's not like they were lighting it up. What if the Lakers would have shot worth a damn? Well,
Yeah.
how bad would have it been? It was just a dead ass performance, and Julius was brutal. He had no idea how to fit in with this collection. I don't know if there's anything that could be done in the preseason to get ready, but man alive. What's your theory, by the way, guys? You got all these young guys. None of them played. Why did he? Why was that? Why did he watch these guys run around in a stupor for the first half, and he never tried anybody else? Why did he stick with, just the 8 veterans? The only one of them who had any life in him, Edwards, and then the only guy who played really that out of his top 8 rotation is Joe Ingles for 7 minutes, who's 37 and looked 92
Yeah, I
when he
know.
played. What the hell?
It is weird.
What
I
what the
thought for
what
sure
what?
Terrence Shannon would get a couple minutes,
Yeah,
right?
somebody to liven things up. It was brutal. I'm sure I overreacted, but I was watching the game and swearing at the television, saying, "What the hell are you doing here? Where's Luca? Give Luca a chance, for God's sakes." Luca was great in the preseason. Luca's been around for 5 years now. Give him a chance. What are they going to do with Randall, by the way, if that's it? If every time he throws the ball, the whole operation he gets the ball, the whole operation comes to a stop. What's he going to do?
Do you know what I
Yeah.
hear here, boys? Panic. We've
I'm
reversed
panicked.
roles.
Yes,
We've
I'm
reversed
panicked.
roles.
I'm panicked. I'm just telling you. That was a frightful performance. It was frightful. And by the way, has Ant, now I love Ant. Okay, you tried. Has he stopped trying to get to the basket at all? Is it just he's going to just be a 3-point bomber? Is that what he's going to do?
He has definitely been emphasizing, and I think Finch too. They want to get like 10 extra threes up compared to last
Hmm.
year. And Anthony
Hmm.
Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo are the two main guys who are going to get. They're going to go from 8 to 13 more likely than the other players. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the new thing in the NBA too. By the way, everybody wants more. That was the whole product thing when I would listen to the Celtics pregame. And they got more threes up. They shot 61 of them. So if that's the new NBA, it's unwatchable. If that's the new NBA, is just a bunch of people coming down and firing threes, uh, it's unwatchable. Because that's not not a game. If that's all that, if you don't try to do anything but just fire up
Do
threes,
you
but
move the
that's
line back? How do you fix it? Do you move the line
I don't
back a little
know.
further?
Yeah, yeah. Well, boy, then nobody make one. But yeah, I don't know what you do. But the league's got to be in a panic, doesn't it? Because the new load management is now that, like, Embiid doesn't have an injury, but they want him to get in a little better shape. They want him to. So it's just you know
Yeah, they're
people
being investigated now by the
people in
league.
Philadelphia is going nuts because he played the Olympics. He went through all the practices. He didn't take, he did all the drills. I heard Grant Hill talking about it last night. He did everything. And now, and then he rests, didn't play any in the preseason. And now the season starts and they're going to give him 4 more games off. And when he doesn't play, and then Paul George is hurt, which is a shock. And when he doesn't play, they're terrible. All of a sudden they got Maxey and nobody else,
Yeah.
and you know, it would be great. They're not going to worry about playing Embiid. It would be great if they go into the playoffs as getting a play-in thing, and about 9 seed if they. I don't know. The NBA's got problems. I mean, everybody's watching and nobody cares. I mean, they're not. Everybody's not watching, but they're interested. But if it's just going to be a bunch of jackasses throwing up threes from 40 feet away for the all night long, that's not basketball. I don't think.
Did you see on the injury front? So, former Timberwolf Jared Vanderbilt, who was
Yes.
injured again, was chirping Anthony Edwards and the Wolves from the bench, and Ant turns to him in a not very friendly way, and he just claps back, saying, "You've been hurt for 2 years. You've been hurt for 2 years. Where's your ass?" Jared Vanderbilt.
Yes. And he's not the kind of guy you look at as looking for injuries. But Ant was right. Ant Vanderbilt's got something wrong with him. He's not hurt. But anyway, I am in a panic because I think they got a chance to get killed tonight. If they show up and play the same way tonight, they'll get killed again by the Kings because the Kings are good.
Yeah.
And now that they got DeRozan, so. Anyway, that's my theory. By the way, I did watch a little of the Bulls last night too. Zach's out there. Zach's actually playing. Turned it over 7 times. They got beat.
How old's
They
Zach
got
now?
beat again.
Is he 30 now?
How old's
Is he
Zach
30?
now?
30?
Feels like he's
He's-
been around forever.
He made his 995th three for the Bulls. He's like second all time on their threes. And then he might have made more than that, but I saw him make his 995th three for the Bulls.
Wow.
Just
One of the
seconds.
great Bulls of all time, Zach Levine.
Yeah. And
Jordan, Pippen, Levine.
although he has a few less championships than some of the other fellas, or playoff appearances for that matter. So
Yeah.
anyway.
So, well, enjoy your sports viewing night tonight. Flip it around back and forth. When's the World Series? Are we starting that?
World
Friday.
Series starts
Tomorrow.
Friday.
It's
Tomorrow.
I'm wondering if the Star Tribune. So far, we've had 2 graphs a day on the World Series as it comes up. By the way, I'll give you a stat. I was looking back to the 1981 World Series, because the last time the Yankees played the Dodgers, also the first one I covered, and we are very traumatized by the domination of big market teams where they're paying big money, because the Dodgers are now playing the Yankees for the first time since 1981. Since 1981, there have been 23 franchises in MLB to win the World Series and 17 franchises to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's a lot of franchises that aren't us.
Yes. That is a lot of people saying with "Before We Die" T-shirts out there. I don't know how many of us have never won it, 7 or 8, but we're the longest, right? The longest since without winning it, right? Because the others are expanding. No, Detroit
Yeah,
has
Detroit.
Detroit's 7-1. They've been in it.
But Detroit had
As
kind of a
long
little
as us.
mini dynasty in the 50s, They
Yeah,
got
right.
their
Yeah,
run in the
recently
50s.
Bobby
they've
Lane.
won. Last year was what, their second playoff victory since 1956, or the third, second or third.
I think it was their third.
They have had a little snag. So yes, but anyway, it's not like the Yankees and the Dodgers are just rolling over everybody year after year. That the first time they played since '81. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna watch some of it, but they got a lot of things going against each other. Last night, that's one reason I was up all night. I was making my list of baseball's woes. What has happened since 1981? You know what the big problem is? Baseball got slower as society got faster. That's what happened. The games
Yeah, it's a
took
big one.
longer. The games took longer, and longer, and society got faster, and it's still getting faster. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're not settling in for 3 hours and 15 minutes like we used to. Unfortunately.
no, especially when it was 4 hours and 15 minutes
Yeah.
until the other one. So,
Yep.
all right, gents, have
All
a
right,
good
Pat.
weekend.
Pat.
We'll recap.
Oh,
We'll
I see
recap it with you tomorrow.
That's right. Goodbye.
Sounds
See
good.
you.
There he is, Reusse Unchained here, presented by Josh Arnold.